Hello, my name is Gary Maloney, here for Sacktown Slam, and I'm here for your Monday night edition of Sacktown Slam. So, Raw tonight, not exactly the greatest Raw, especially for a night after show, after a pay-per-view. Really, we did not get much of anything tonight, except for one thing. It does appear that the Miz Taraj is trying to egg on a Shield reunion, which, in all fairness, I want to see the Shield back together, but they would kick the asses of the Miz Taraj. Like, the fact that the Miz even tried to say that, oh, if the Miz Taraj was around 5 years ago, we would have kicked the Shield's ass. Yeah, And in what dream world are you living in? Like, what dream world did Rick create for you? Because, that would have never have happened. It was after a night that, in my opinion, was not a very good night. They came to you from Ontario, California at the Citizens Business Bank Arena. So, The Miz was in the ring for Miz TV, and he brought out Roman Reigns, who says that it was the biggest win of his career. Yeah, every win is the biggest win of Miz's career. Unfortunately for the Miz, it's not going to be too many. He partied all night, didn't get much sleep. His back hurts from the match, and he doesn't know why he's there talking to an idiot like the Miz. And this was Roman Reigns' little jab at the Miz. Miz says Reigns claims he's the man, but Miz is the champ. And last night, Miz proved that to Jason Jordan, and that Jordan is nothing but a loser. Reigns takes exception to this and says Jordan is a thoroughbred, and Miz couldn't beat him without help from his Miztourage. Reigns looks at the Miztourage and says that they could go get him a cold beer. Miz says, no, they don't drink beer on Miz TV. Yeah, I'm the A-lister, yeah. Miz gets on to say that if the Miztourage faced the Shield back in the day, it would have been a bad night for the Shield. I laughed so hard when I heard this. I almost fell out of my chair had it not have been for my seatbelt. That is a joke, okay? Because the Shield would have killed the Miztourage. Anyway, Reigns laughs at this and then realizes Miz was serious. He says the Shield would have mopped the floor with them, which is absolutely fucking true. And it would have been a bad night for them, but Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are doing their thing, and Reigns is doing his thing. Miz says that since he's come to Monday Night Raw, he's claimed he has carried this show. He's made the Intercontinental Championship what it is today. Yeah, a bullshit title that nobody cares about because all you do is cheat to win it. Thus, no one cares about it. Reigns takes the initiative and says that he and the Miz should fight. Miz is quizzical, and Reigns reiterates that they should get it on tonight. Miz stammers and protests and makes the excuse that he's wearing a suit and couldn't possibly do that tonight. Miz and the Miztourage start to leave, and then Raw General Manager Kurt Angle comes out and makes the match official, Miz versus Reigns, later tonight. Then Angle says that the Miztourage will also have a match against Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan right now. Now, for those that don't know, Jeff Hardy is out. He has a broken rotator cuff. So, Jeff will have surgery, and I learned this later on from the last video I posted. Jeff Hardy will have surgery later on this week to find out just how bad that rotator cuff is. And we'll find out what goes on with Jeff from there. He was at ringside tonight, but when he tried to raise his right arm, you could see him kind of grimace like, oh, that's a bad idea. I feel bad for Jeff because he had an interview that was on WWE.com. And he said every time he's injured, the only thing he can really think about is getting back in the ring. And I've heard this from many, many wrestlers. So I understand the way he feels, but that's gotta suck. But at the same time, this gives WWE a unique opportunity to experiment with Broken Matt without Jeff necessarily being in that picture. So Matt may have a shot at his brokenness. Yes! Anyway, bell sounds and Jordan shoots a takedown on Bo Dallas. Dallas springs up and Jordan levels him with a back elbow. Curtis Axel tags in, and Jordan drives him back into the corner, then delivers a Northern Lights suplex. And I gotta be honest with you, these Northern Lights you want to call Brock Suplex City. Jordan is one of the purest, most powerful wrestlers there is. What he needs is a voice. He needs a manager. I mean, for crying out loud, group him with Enzo and get Enzo the fuck out of the cruiserweight division. Anyways, Matt Hardy tags in and stomps Axel in the face. He hits a Russian leg sweep and then a series of leg drops on Axel and pinning him for a 2 count. Matt puts on a side headlock. Axel stands up, and after the transition, Matt plants him with a tornado DDT. Axel rolls outside and comes into his rescue. Dallas is cleared out of the ring. Then we go to a commercial. Back again, and Axel is putting a beating on Jordan. Axel scoops and slams him, and then tags Dallas in, who drops a knee to his face, which looked very painful, by the way. Axel tags back in and continues to apply pressure to Jordan. The Miztourage cycle tags and cut the ring off from Jordan. Your typical, we're going to do tags in and out, hold this guy to the corner, and then this guy's finally going to get the hot tag scenario. Axel puts a rear chin lock on Jordan. Jordan starts to fight to his feet. He manages to send Axel out of the ring to ringside and tags in Matt, who comes in hot. Dallas comes in as well, and Matt smashes his face into the turnbuckle repeatedly. Delete, delete, delete. Then follows up with a bulldog. Matt goes to the top rope and delivers an elbow to Dallas. He pins and gets a 2 count. Matt starts to taunt Dallas and gets a roll-up on him. Matt knocks out and then delivers a side effect. Jordan and Axel come into the ring. Jordan hits a big overhead suplex on Axel as Matt lands a twist of fate. Matt pins and the ref hits a 3. So Jason Jordan and Matt Hardy win. Kind of expected this. I mean, if they expect the Miz Taraj to be anything more than jobbers after this is all said and done, they need to not lose tag matches like this. I mean, if you really want people to believe that they can beat the Shield, this is not the way to do it, by having them beat them by rando tag teams like this, defeating them. I mean, it's like, okay. Yeah, we can beat the Shield, but we're going to lose to Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan, who apparently we screwed out of the Intercontinental title. Retarded! Anyway, Elias is in the commercial break. Elias is in the ring getting ready to play a song for the audience. He starts playing the song and makes fun of his opponent from last night, which was Apollo Crews. I don't exactly remember, but he was getting some heat from the crowd. I forget what the song lyrics were. I wish some site would actually have the lyrics that he was singing and quotes and such. But for now, I've got what I've got. But anyway, he was facing Apollo Crews again tonight. So, and then he interrupted him for the match. So, bell sounds and they tie up. They jockey for position, and Apollo Crews pushes Elias back into the corner. Elias twists Crews' arms, and then Crews reverses it. Crews hits a headlock takeover. Elias gets to his face and tries an Irish whip, but Crews holds it on tight. Crews is whipped into the corner, but boosts himself up and over Elias as he runs in after him. Crews does a standing backflip yet again, and then lands a big drop kick. Crews knocks Elias out of the ring and then shots himself over the top rope out onto him. Titus O'Neil and Crews celebrate a bit at ringside, and Elias takes Titus out back in the ring, which this pissed off Apollo Crews and Titus a little bit. And, you know, I saw a side of Apollo Crews when he attacked Titus that we haven't seen before, because he started getting hyped up. And, you know, this is what we need to see out of Apollo Crews, is a little bit of emotion. And I'm going to say that again, because unless Apollo Crews wants to go back down to NXT, what we need to see out of him is emotion. And we're not getting that. So while guys like Elias, who are incredibly talented, and Elias, I believe, honestly, is the total package. He's a great heel. He knows how to do his shit in the ring. And he's got a great shtick, which is completely malleable depending on the city he's in. So I could see Elias going very, very far. I mean, sorry, my voice is going on me. I mean, I was very angry last night about No Mercy. So, excuse me about that. I still have SmackDown and NXT to go through this week. Anyway, Elias takes Titus out. Back in the ring, and Elias hits Drift away on Crews for a pinfall. The only other issue I have with this match is, where is Elias going? Where does Elias go from here? Because doing these rubber matches with Elias and Apollo Crews, it's not doing anything for Elias. I want to see. I mean, Elias and Balor was a big thing. I wouldn't mind seeing Elias and Wyatt. Why not? Wyatt's got nothing better to do. But apparently, as we go on, Wyatt, anyway, I'll get to that when I get to it. As Titus stands up on the apron, Elias attacks him again. Titus flips out and drives Elias off. Elias and Titus jaw jack a bit across the arena as Titus helps Apollo up, and Elias makes his way up the aisle to the back. Finn Balor's interviewed backstage, and he thanks Bray Wyatt for doubting him and pushing him to become a better man last night. Balor says he is looking forward to reclaim the Universal title now. Not for another 4 months. Sorry, buddy. Although, according to Pro Wrestling Insider and Dave Meltzer, so take this with a grain of salt, because lately Meltzer seems more like an opinion than a foregone conclusion. He is going to get a shot, more than likely in January, which that's a long time from now. But he's also set to lose that shot because, oh my gosh, I'm the Women's Revolution. Freaking Brock Lesnar. Freaking hashtag you're a bitch. Run away with your title and go hunt some deer, you punk ass. Yeah, I hate the guy. I really do. I mean, Mr. Diverticulitis needs to just drift away. I really think that he is disgusting me as a champion. There's a reason they made a 30-day compete clause for every title, and there's a reason that should be adhered to, regardless if you're a part-timer or a full-timer. If you're not defending that belt once a month, then get the hell out of the company. Guys like Balor would do much better without guys like Brock. And right now, guys like Balor can't go anywhere because guys like Brock have the title. And that's the truth of it. So, anyway, speaking of big guys, Kurt Hawkins wants to end his record-breaking losing streak. So he challenges someone from the back to come and make history with them. Then all of a sudden you hear, Braun! Yeah, I laughed very hard at this. Not because it was funny, but because it was a foregone conclusion that Kurt Hawkins was going down. This match, I don't even think got started because Kurt Hawkins was like, the fuck with this, I'm running away, jumped over the barricade and was like, bye, but Braun chased him down, and yeah, that was not gonna go well for for Kurt Hawkins as he was power slammed through the electric lights for the LED lights that they have at the front as the guys come out. I mean, Braun just destroyed Kurt Hawkins. And, it was hilarious. And then Strowman's like, I'm not leaving till I get some competition. Nah, 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 nah. And so who comes out but Dean Ambrose? Stupid idea since you're a champ and you just had a grueling match last night, but whatever. So, Dean Ambrose, they have a commercial break, and Dean Ambrose comes out. And so Dean Ambrose comes out and to face Braun Strowman. I am sorry, but I am going to end up killing my throat if I do not get something to drink right now. So, the bell sounds and Ambrose tries to avoid the same kind of Strowman attack, which would be the I'm going to lift you up and power slam your ass. So, anyway, Strowman gets hold of him and just whips him into the corner. Strowman clubs Ambrose and then starts to work on his shoulder because he had his shoulder taped up. My guess is as good as any. I'm sure it was probably from last night. And that's the tooth of it. And by the way, for those that did watch my video last night on No Mercy, apparently it wasn't that that Cesaro chipped his teeth. It was that they were shoved like 5 millimeters into his gums. Ow. Anyway, Strowman lifts Ambrose and then drives him across the ring and into the corner and lifts Ambrose up and clubs him back down. Irish whip, and Ambrose ducks a few clotheslines and goes for a crossbody. Strowman catches him, but then Ambrose gets Strowman's back. You know, he catches him and then kind of climbs over his head. You know, that kind of shtick. And goes for a sleeper hold. Strowman shakes him off. Ambrose swings some punches at Strowman and kicks him down. He puts a foot on Ambrose and gets a 2 count. Strowman stretches Ambrose's arm with a submission. Ambrose stands up and lands a few punches until Strowman checks him out of the ring. Yeah, he got chucked out of the ring, was more like it. Strowman goes out and throws him into the barricade. Ambrose finds an opening and pushes Strowman back into the ring post. Back in the ring, and Ambrose unloads some punches and kicks. Strowman charges at him, and Ambrose pulls down the top rope, sending Strowman out to the floor. Ambrose goes for a suicide dive, but Strowman catches him. Ambrose swings into a DDT onto the floor. This was a great spot by Ambrose and Strowman. I mean, obviously, Strowman could have easily just caught him and not even allowed the momentum to let them take them to the floor. But it looked very natural. So, props on Strowman and Ambrose for making it look good. Anyway, Ambrose swings into DDT on the floor. The ref starts to count as Ambrose slides in the ring. Strowman gets back inside at the count of 8. Or according to the fans, 10, because every fucking count is a 10 count. Ambrose bounces off the ropes and goes for some clotheslines. Strowman tries for a choke slam, but Ambrose evades. Ambrose comes off the top rope with an elbow, but Strowman catches him and hits a power slam. He pins and gets the 3 count. Winner, Braun Strowman. Okay, here's the thing. You ruined your chance with Strowman last night. I don't even know why you had him on the show. And that's my honest opinion here. What was the point of having Strowman here? You could have just as easily had Dean Ambrose beat up freaking Kurt Hawkins and been done with it. What is the point of having Braun Strowman beat up Dean Ambrose? I mean, to me, it feels superficial. Like you're just gifting him something or giving him something to do. I mean, Strowman's just going to sink lower and lower down the ladder since you didn't give him the Universal title like you should have last night. I really, I don't get it. I mean, this show is going to sink into the depths of mediocrity, and we're talking probably TNA numbers by the end of football season. I mean, this is going to get ugly for Monday Night Raw. So, with all that in mind, Kurt Angle is backstage talking to a ref to keep an eye on the Miz Taraj during the Miz's match with Roman Reigns. And the new quote-unquote cruiserweight champion, please give me a barf bag because I can't believe I'm even saying this, Enzo Amore, comes in and asks Angle if he wants to make tonight as special as possible. Enzo suggests a celebration for the new cruiserweight champ. Angle says he doesn't know if the way Enzo won is worthy of a celebration. Enzo protests and eventually Angle agrees to have a celebration. Then he offers him some Hall of Fame advice, but Enzo says he's good and he walks off. Probably should have taken the advice, you schmuck. Commercial break. Ambrose is backstage nursing some of his wounds. Seth Rollins brings him a bag of ice and tells him to maybe curb some of those self-destructive impulses. Ambrose says it isn't self-destruction, it's self-improvement, taking on challenges. Rollins says he's going to demand a match for next week against Braun Strowman. Yet again, pointless matches because we know that Braun is going to win. But first he has a match against Sheamus tonight. Now, Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss comes out to the ring. She says she is very disappointed in all these fans. She beat 4 of the best women in the world last night. Then this morning, she checked her phone. I'm the women's revolution. Kind of bullshit. All these women so worried about their hashtags. Give me a friggin' break. Worry about defending your title. Like, seriously. I mean, I watched this, and I'm like, really? That's what you're worried about? You're not worried about Asuka whipping your ass in 4 weeks and taking your title, which more than likely is going to happen. You're not worried about all the other competitors in your division. You're worried about your social media bullshit. Like, how fickle is Vince really making these women? Like, come on. This is 2017, almost 2018, not 1999. Give me a break. Anyway, then this morning she checked her phone and expected to see some congratulations and memes about her victory. I'm the women's revolution. But no, it is nothing but gossip. Everyone is so preoccupied with what's going to happen tomorrow that they don't even appreciate the fact that they are in the presence of a goddess. But Bliss has cleaned out this division but as she's talking, Mickie James comes out to the ring. Mickie questions Bliss's assertion that she's cleaned out the division. Mickie wasn't in the match last night, so Bliss didn't beat her. Bliss says she respects Mickey. Mickey was one of Bliss's favorites when she was a kid. She was even one of the top 8 on MySpace. Yeah, I love this comment. She was one of her top 8 on MySpace back when MySpace was relevant. Bliss says she just worried that Mickey might break a hip and she doesn't want to see that. Mickey says that she was attaining accolades and paving the way back when Bliss was still wearing a training bra. And then Mickey was like, yeah, I see that's still working well for you. I mean, they were exchanging some pretty good jabs here. So, definitely not PG, by the way. Mickey wants to hear Bliss say what she said last night on Raw Talk to her face. Bliss says fine, and she steps a little close. She calls Mickey an old lady. Mickey laughs and slaps Bliss in the face. Bliss falls and rolls. Actually, that was not what made Bliss fall and roll out of the ring. It was the mitt kick to her face that made her fall and roll out of the ring. So I don't know what the hell this guy is writing. But, yeah, not sure if it was a mitt kick, but it was a kick to the face. It looked like a super kick of some sorts. But, yeah, Bliss walks off in a huff, and Mickey wears a satisfied grin on her face. Now, first of all, I'm not entirely sure where this goes, because if this is all you're going to give Mickie James for I don't know how long, then why is Mickie James even there? Just trade her back to SmackDown, because they need the talent better than Tamina Kush, you know. But honestly, you're wasting the time of a 6-time women's champion who's definitely still got talent within her. Anyway, commercial break. Seth Rollins versus Sheamus. Bell sounds and Sheamus comes out aggressively. He whips Rollins into the corner. Rollins moves as Sheamus charges in after him, hitting his shoulder on the ring post, which looked very brutal. He went into that with some heat, and you could even tell that both Cesaro and Seth Rollins were like, oh shit, because did not look good for Sheamus. He tumbles outside and Rollins hits him with a suicide dive. Back in the ring, and Sheamus gets back in it and executes a suplex to Rollins. Sheamus goes to the second rope and jumps off with a knee to Rollins' chest. He pins, but Rollins kicks out. Sheamus delivers a stout power bomb and gets another 2 count. Then Sheamus puts on a clover leaf. Rollins grimaces in pain as he tries to crawl to the ropes. He manages to grab the bottom rope and the ref breaks the hold. Rollins ends up with his throat draped across the second rope, and Sheamus goes out onto the apron and puts him and punts his face. Oh yeah, that was definitely, I know exactly what they're talking about here. Basically, after the clover leaf, he was kind of like shrugged on the rope, on that second rope, and then Sheamus walked outside, punt right to the face. Sheamus goes to the top rope and jumps off, but Rollins catches him with a super kick. Rollins follows up with his knee strike finisher, B-trigger finisher, and gets the pinfall. Winner, Seth Rollins. So, very short, very sweet. Probably going to be the last time these two teams interact for a while. Commercial break. Goldust gives Finn Balor the gears about saying he was a victim. Goldust isn't a victim and that he can do it all on his own. Balor apologizes for any offense he may have caused. He considers Goldust a friend and didn't mean anything by it. Goldust nods and said maybe he's right, but then he cracks Balor in the jaw and slams him around the backstage area a bit. Balor is laying on the ground holding his ribs, and Goldust says, "Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Godfather Part 2. Yeah, Goldust, some of his mannerisms lately are definitely like the only thing he's really missing. The robe and the wig. I'm telling you, giving him a farewell tour would do him good while he's doing as good as he is. So, then you had a singles match, which I don't understand why this didn't main event Raw. So, whatever. But is Roman Reigns versus The Miz. The match is about to start, and The Miz is trying to talk his way out of it. Here, he extends his hands to shake Reigns, and he shakes Reigns' hands. As Miz turns to leave the ring, Reigns holds on. Miz turns with a punch, and Reigns ducks and knocks Miz out of the ring. Miz and the Miztourage regroup at ringside. Reigns goes out and starts chasing the Miz around the ring. They end up back in the ring, and Reigns grabs a side headlock. Irish whip, and Reigns levels the Miz with a shoulder tackle. The ref drops to check on Miz, and Bo Dallas attacks Reigns from behind the ref's back, which, the Miztourage, of course we're going to attack when the people with the ref is looking. He puts Reigns in a rear chin lock. Reigns stands up and powers his way out of the hold and knocks Miz back. Reigns ends up outside, and Miz distracts the ref again as the Miztourage attacks Reigns at ringside. Back in the ring, and Miz delivers the Daniel Bryan drop kicks in the corner. You know, the yes kicks. As he goes for the last one, Reigns catches him and slams him with a Samoan drop. He pins the Miz, but Miz kicks out. Commercial break. Reigns starts to unload on Miz. He hits a series of jumping clotheslines and then 10 clubbing blows in the corner. Reigns stalks and sets up for a Superman punch. The Miztourage distracts him, and the Miz capitalizes by attacking Reigns when he's not looking. Miz delivers the it kicks, but then the last one, Reigns hoists him up for a power bomb. Miz evades, but Reigns catches him with the Superman punch. The Miztourage jumps on the apron, and they get hit as well. Miz rolls out of the ring for a breather. Reigns goes after him, but hits the Miztourage with a drive-by. He slides in the ring, and Miz plants him with a DDT for a 2 count. The crowd chants, "Let's go Roman, Roman sucks," which I can't believe they're actually cheering for Roman. Boo! No Roman. Bad Roman. Roman sit. Miz moves in and goes for a skull-crushing finale, but Reigns shakes him off and hits a spear for a 3 count. Yeah, the spear from Roman Reigns is beginning to become the new AA. And I don't even like this because next week there's going to be an IC title shot between The Miz and Roman Reigns. Now, do I think Reigns deserves it? Fuck no. Reigns does not deserve shit. Reigns, as far as I am concerned, that Intercontinental title deserves to be on a guy like Balor. It deserves to be on a guy like Seth or Dean, or there are a ton of other people like, I don't know, Elias would be another great person, or Jason Jordan. Because quite frankly, I don't care what anybody else on the YWC says. Jason Jordan's got talent. And there are plenty of people that don't have mic talent, but have ring talent that have won that title before and have learned trial by fire that you need mic talent to keep that title. But, you've got to start somewhere. And he obviously has the talent. Anyway, after the match, the Miz Taraj comes in and I don't need to read this because I'll just tell you what happens. Miz Taraj came in and they just started unloading on poor Roman Reigns. And and during the match, it was very apparent because he was grabbing at his back. And I think that it was, one of the announcers, I forget which one, said that he had some sort of sciatica problem after last night. And it just, his back could have very well been in bad shape. But he got beat up very, very badly by by Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, and The Miz. Miz gave him yet another skull-crushing finale. And then after beating him up with steel chairs, all 3 of them just beating him in the back, they set yet another steel chair right under his head and gave him yet another skull-crushing finale. And then they did the little fist thing that the Shield does, in the middle of the ring. This is not over. At least if I am writing this is most definitely not over. So what Ryan Satin was saying earlier today, that they might start something between the Miztourage and the Shield going into TLC, I could definitely see that happening. Especially with the way that this was portrayed. Yeah, this is not over. Not by any means. Especially with them. Oh my gosh, there's going to be an Intercontinental title shot. Roman Reigns is getting an Intercontinental title shot for no apparent reason. Yeah, Finn Balor, he can win all the damn matches in the world. But, Roman Reigns wins 2. And he gets a title shot. Yeah, fuck Roman Reigns. Anyway. Getting on to the rest of the show. Let me just load that up for you. Come on. Next match, Finn Balor versus Goldust. Bell sounds, And Goldust comes out strong. He beats Balor around the ring and then throws him into the ring post. Goldust is working on Balor's injured ribs as they go to the outside, and Goldust rams Balor's ribs into the barricade with a couple of times. Commercial break. Back again, and Goldust hits a spine buster. He maintains his offense until Balor makes some space and goes for a suplex. Balor's ribs give out, and he can't get Goldust up. Balor digs deep and starts to put some moves together. Now, he hits a sling blade and then goes to the top rope and delivers a coup de grace and then gets a 3 count. Not much of a match here. I mean, it was really kind of as far as this one. Not very exciting and very, very predictable. After the match, the lights go out, Bray's face flashes across the screen, and then the creepy rendition of "He got the whole world in his hands," which we've been hearing since he's been feuding with Cena. Like, why? That's my question. It's like he's got a beef with every heel that is over with the crowd. And this is the thing. You're not an imposing heel to anyone, if you don't have wins or championships or anything behind you. What you are is an annoyance. And I'm sorry, but Bray Wyatt, what he is an annoyance. He needs to build himself back up. And whether that's heel versus heel versus face, it doesn't matter. Quite frankly, it is a very, very annoying. It's stupid. And, why would they do Bray versus Wyatt versus Balor again? You are wasting our time with yet another Wyatt versus Balor match. Boo! We don't want none. Seriously. I mean, have they not learned and I'm gonna be honest too. Like, during the time that Roman Reigns came out, you could hear a fucking pin drop. It wasn't, and I mean, Miz got some cheering because they were in SoCal, so I get that. But so much of this, like, the crowd is just so dead, and you wonder why. When you have talent like Finn Balor and you are booking him so shitty, and he's talking about getting his title back, how's he going to get his title back when the guy that has it is going to be gone for 4 months? Just saying, shitty booking, WWE, shitty booking. Should have given it to Braun. No, I don't think Finn would have beaten Braun, and it wouldn't have been believable for Finn to beat Braun, but at least it's someone who has the title that can, defend it. Unlike Brock, who would rather, go to Minnesota and hunt deer and eat duck jerky. It's pathetic. The WWE has gotten so desperate for talent that they think they need part-timers to carry their titles, because they don't. Brock is a shit show. And I'm sorry, he's like 40 years old. He's yesterday's news. Get him the fuck out of WWE, because he's literally a toxic situation that is going to kill your show. And this is a perfect example. Balor and Wyatt shouldn't even be happening because we don't even know what the hell they're fighting over. I'm the demon. I'm a god. I'm the best. No, I'm the women's revolution. No, I'm the women's revolution. It's like, shut up already and get on to something original. Make me sick with some of your booking. I swear. Like, there are times where I don't even want to watch Raw because of stupid shit like this. Commercial breaks and Sasha Banks and Bayley are backstage. I'm the women's revolution. And there is some tension. Bayley asks if Sasha got her text. And there was some tension here. Basically, they're both like angry because they fell short. They make up and agree to move on from it. And it was every woman for themselves, and that it was what it was. They're teaming up tonight, and they need to put it behind them. They shake hands. Enzo is... and that's another thing. Why are you not giving us Sasha versus Bayley at this point? You've got nothing to lose. I mean, obviously there was tension here. You could have built up upon that tension, but instead you chose to, like, alleviate it. And I don't understand. Like, this should have been a fatal four-way for who was going to be the next number one contender, assuming you don't just have Asuka walk in and take the title at TLC to begin with. I don't know what their plans are, but knowing Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon, they probably have some fairly clear-cut plans for the next, hopefully anyway, for the next 4 weeks. But they did not do anything, in my opinion, to help these women tonight. I mean, it was bad. Anyway, Enzo is bugging Angle, saying he better make sure there are measures in place to make sure nobody tries any funny stuff during his Cruiserweight Championship celebration tonight. And Angle tells him, fine, done, but one more thing, you're annoying as hell, he tells Enzo. Yeah, I think you and everyone else in the WWE universe feels that way. So, Angle, no, you are not alone. He is as annoying as hell. And he is a loser. And no, he did not bring ratings to 205 Live. No, he did not do anything for the cruiserweights. He didn't do shit for the cruiserweights. You know who did? Neville. You know who should have that title? Neville. You know who should be getting quality matches? People like Cedric Alexander and Grand Metalik and Tony Nese and Drew Gulak and Jack Gallagher and all these other guys that are just afterthoughts, apparently, because that division just doesn't get any respect. Tag team match, Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Emma. Wow. Okay. Apparently they did not even, they have it on here, but they, never mind. I'll be honest, this match, it was a good showing for Emma, I will say that, and it was a decent showing for Sasha Banks and Bayley. Bayley won with a Bayley to belly on Emma, and that's pretty much was the end of it. It was and the way it ended was that Nia Jax tried to interfere, and it took two of them to kind of jump Nia Jax, and then Emma tagged herself in, and basically it was Bailey to belly on Emma after they had gotten Nia Jax out of the equation. Nothing special, nothing anyone hasn't seen before, Just, I'm glad to see that Emma's finally getting used, because it shows that they're willing to grow on their division. Yay. It needs to happen. But for the moment, this is definitely, we're headed now towards a period where they have some time to really to make some different stars in the women's division, and I think Emma should be one of those stars. She's got 4 weeks to show, as well as Mickie James, to show how much she's worth, and then Asuka's gonna come and take that spot. So anyway, then new cruiserweight champion Enzo Amore comes out for his celebration, and he starts by hitting his catchphrases and cutting a promo. The ring has a red carpet over the canvas and an easel draped in a veil to hide what sits on it. Enzo says that his dream has become a reality. He says over the past couple of months there has been more than a cup of haters. He's had to deal with some serious scrutiny, but they'll all be jealous. He holds the belt over his head, and he repeats the word jealous, just like his former tag team partner, Big Cass. Last time Enzo saw Cass, he was hobbling and crying his way to the injured list. Enzo reveals what is on the easel, and it's a certified G jersey. Yeah, now available on WWE.com. Cough, cough. Most likely. I haven't looked, but I wouldn't doubt it. He says he needs to retire that jersey now because of his accomplishments. Yeah, because you ain't going to have no more, buddy. Not to mention, he single-handedly made 205 Live relevant. This is what pissed me off. How the fuck did you make 205 Live relevant, Enzo? Last time I looked, it was the Cruiserweight Championship that made 205 Live relevant. Not you. And, question, where exactly in the ratings is 205 Live on WWE Network? Because it's pretty much in the exact same place it was now than it was before you joined it. So no, you didn't make it relevant. You just got punished, sent there, and gifted a title which you don't deserve. Suddenly, the 205 Live intro music plays, and the whole cruiserweight division comes out on stage with stern looks on their faces. Enzo starts dropping dimes on all of them, and what they mean by that is insults. Enzo runs down the line of them. And hits each of them with their own unique insult. I don't think he got through all of them, but he did get through the majority of them. Neville then looks pretty haggard, and Enzo tells him as much, because Enzo did not come out with the original group of cruiserweights. He came out with he came out on his own because he looked pissed. So Enzo tells him as much. Enzo asks where his crown is, and then remembers it's on the shoulder of a real man. Which I heard this and I'm like, oh, you're gonna get your ass whipped for that one. Enzo looks down at the belt on his shoulder. Neville really does look like death, and he starts to respond to Enzo's incessant whatever, proddling, I believe was the way he put it. Neville is inserting some hilarious idiosyncrasies into his speech pattern as he tells Enzo that he's nothing but a disgrace to the whole cruiserweight division. Enzo has made a joke out of these athletes, and he's made a joke out of Neville's championship, which, wow. Yeah. That's pretty much what happened when, when freaking Enzo won the championship. My lights just like went. Oh, no, it doesn't want to do it. So, anyway, the point is that Enzo was gifted a title because he handed it to a ref, kicked some guy in the nuts, which, how do you get away with that? I mean, the ref must be stupid as shit to let that go. And then Enzo, but anyway, and when Enzo kicked him where the sun don't shine, which is exactly how he put it, he made a joke out of Neville. And now Neville is here to end Enzo. Neville runs down to the ring. As he slides in, Enzo holds the piece of paper that Angle signed for his protection and then shoves it in his mouth. Yeah, you know, the other thing that Enzo said that bothered me is like, yeah, we're here on the third hour. You know how many times that the cruiserweights have seen this hour? None. You know, like, what the fuck did you do during the cruiserweights' time on Raw at all to earn them to a third hour slot? Because I don't think you earned them a third hour slot. Enzo says Neville can't touch him, and he knows it. Neville needs to slow his roll. Neville had the title for how long, and he never sniffed this main event time slot once. Same with all the other hangers-on loitering on the stage. All of them could combine their merchandise checks, and they still wouldn't come close to what Enzo brings in. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. Why are you even bringing that up? I mean, you're supposed to be punishing this guy. Why are you pushing him? Why? You fucking tards. Like, I don't get it, you know? Because all that's probably true. Enzo is a star, and they're not. Neville snaps and kicks Enzo in the balls. Enzo goes down, and Neville proceeds to beat Enzo all around the ring and out to ringside. Enzo tries to stumble his way up the aisle, but all the cruiserweights block his way and tell him to go back to the ring and face the music. Enzo is back in the ring, and Neville stuffs the piece of paper in his mouth and super kicks him in the jaw. Neville sets Enzo up for a picture-perfect red arrow. And boy, when he hit this red arrow, he literally bounced off of Enzo and was almost able to jump back up to his feet. That's how hard he hit Enzo. So I get the feeling he was kind of pissed. So Neville gets down low and stares at Enzo, and Enzo sells the beating he just took. I don't think he sold anything. I think he just took a beating. And the other cruiserweights look on, and clapping and nodding their approval at what just transpired to close the show. I'm going to be honest about this whole thing. Raw as a whole was bad. Tonight, it really could have been a lot better. The ordering didn't make any sense. Why the hell you're gifting Enzo the last portion of the show didn't make sense. It really should have gone to The Miz and Roman Reigns. I mean, I don't get that. Or if nothing else, it should have gone to, I don't know, Cesaro and Rollins. I mean, this was a weird show, and it really didn't have anything main event about it. And that's probably why they gave the cruiserweights what they did. They didn't have any cruiserweight matches whatsoever. So that might, again, be why. But, again, why do I care? You just gifted your cruiserweight title to an a-hole that got kicked off a bus. Again, it makes no sense. And as far as I am concerned, until you kick him out of the cruiserweight division, you make him earn his weight, you make him earn those title shots. Earn. As in, I worked for it. Because he didn't earn shit in 205 Live. I'm sorry, but thumbing some guys in the eyes a couple times and that gets you a title shot? Hell, if I did that in WWE, I'd be fucking WWE champ by now. No. That's a disrespect to the Cruiserweight title. And giving, Roman Reigns an Intercontinental title shot next week is a disrespect to the Cruiser or Intercontinental title. Because he's not an Intercontinental guy. Enzo is not a Cruiserweight guy. As far as I am concerned, the Cruiserweight division is beginning to look like a failure. As far as I am concerned, the Intercontinental division is looking like it needs some dire help. Because I can just hear that music from the Omen for the Intercontinental division. The Jesus Dominus. No matter who gets the Intercontinental title. Because I'm sick of The Miz. Miz has had that title for the better part of 9-10 months now. Why the fuck do I care? And as far as Roman Reigns, I don't want to see him with that title. I don't want to see him with that title going into WrestleMania for the next 6 months. Fuck that. Like, why do I want to see Roman Reigns with 2 titles? I don't care. I don't care if you think he's the next Rock. You're never going to get me to like him. You're not going to get anyone in the YWC to like him. The YouTube wrestling community is smarter than this. So do not insult our intelligence by having guys like Roman Reigns, get the Intercontinental title next week. I hope the Miz Taraj interferes. It's a fuck finish, and he keeps the title. I'd rather the Miz keep it and have a chance for someone like Finn Balor or Elias or Jason Jordan get the title. I'd rather Jason Jordan get that damn title than Roman Reigns. Like, why? Why exactly did you put Jason Jordan against John Cena and Roman Reigns if your plan was to not give him that title? Like, really? Like, what was the point of those matches? What, to just job him out to two guys in 2 weeks in a row? Because really, what I'm feeling is that you don't know where the hell you're going with that guy, and you should have never broken up American Alpha. But that's just my personal opinion. Maybe Shelton Benjamin should have just gone to Raw. But, point taken. Anyway, this is Gary Maloney with your Monday Night Raw edition of Sacktown Slam. I'm Gary Maloney, and I'm signing off.